Good afternoon, everyone. This is Sean Blyle from the Client Development Team. Thank you again for joining us for this second session of the Boost Your Membership with Inbound Marketing webinar. Today we have on the line joining me is Dawn Taylor from our Client Development Team and Victoria Burns who is one of our marketing associates here at MembersFirst.
Hey everybody, this is Dawn.
Hi everyone, this is Victoria.
Great, so a few housekeeping items before we begin here. Just to give everybody a heads up that this webinar consists of a PowerPoint slide deck, and so we will walk you through the presentation and we will be answering questions at the end of the webinar. One of the great things about GoToWebinar is that on the right-hand side of your control panel, there is an area that you can put in your questions. You can put them in during the webinar, or you can wait till the end for those questions, and we will answer every one of them at the end of the session. The other thing with GoToWebinar is that there is in the same control panel, there is a maximize or minimize screen. Ideally, if the screen is a little bit too small, you can certainly hit the maximize button and it will go full screen. Without further ado, let's jump into see what we're going to be covering today on the webinar agenda. So we're going to cover 5 things today. We're going to first talk about our team, which is the people behind the technology that you work with. We will be covering our marketing methods, and we will be introducing you to our inbound methodology. Again, we will focus on making sure that you are attracting the right people. Creating buyer personas is one of the most important pieces in that methodology, so we want to make sure that you're doing it correctly. And then we'll jump into talking about the approach we take, the examples we've created with our clients, and then also show you a few different results from those campaigns. And last but not least, we'll talk about how our team becomes part of your team. So the first thing we'll cover is our team. So most of you who are MembersFirst clients on the line, one, thank you for being a MembersFirst client, and two, you've probably worked very closely with a lot of people on our team. But we also, most of us have lived in your shoes before. So we know that a lot of the general managers, membership, marketing directors, communications directors, golf pros, whoever it may be, you all wear a lot of hats at your club. But we don't want you ripping your hair out when it comes to your marketing strategy. So that's where our team comes into play. Here's a quick overview of what we do internally at MembersFirst, because we actually have a lot of clients reach out to us and they ask us about, hey, social media, we've got you covered there. Do you do search engine optimization, blog posting, copywriting, print, digital design, Google Analytics review, custom development, inbound marketing services, or even video or photography production. So those are all things that we do internally at MembersFirst, not only for our own business, but we love working with our clients to do these types of services for your businesses.
So now we are going to get started and talk about inbound marketing. What you're looking at here is what we refer to as the member life cycle. What we want is for every member to move through this life cycle. They're going to go through at their own pace, and our goal as marketers really should not be how quickly we can move them through the cycle and out the door, but instead it should be how do we get members stuck in here, focusing especially on retention and advocacy. We want them to be members at the club for a very long time. We want them to make our lives easier by telling everyone they know to join the club. We also know that this isn't necessarily an easy process, but no matter what, we do know that there are fundamentals that we need to get right up front before we can really consider keeping them as members and advocates. So the process of inbound marketing starts with attracting strangers to your brand. This is done through awareness campaigns, starting with keyword research, as well as social media publishing and blogging. The idea is to turn these strangers who either don't know who we are or don't know what we do or what we offer, or really both, into visitors. Your inbound marketing efforts really should drive traffic to a branded landing page with calls to action and name and email capture forms. By capturing the name and the email address of your visitor, you want to give them something of relevance. So if somebody comes to you from Google and search for membership at a fitness club or membership at a private country club, you want them to receive something for giving you their name and email address. And that might be a very simple paper on the top 10 reasons to join a club. It could be fairly generic. Once you capture their data, it turns them into a lead for you. It could be a membership lead, it could be an event lead, depending on what you're seeking to accomplish. You also want to have a CRM solution to track the leads going through your own process, and you also want to still be able to communicate with these leads through email communications as well as social publishing. Once this former stranger understands the value that you bring through this whole process, they will likely become a member or a customer if you're seeking maybe event business. So that all sounds like it might be your end goal, but what you really want to do is take it to the next level and turn these new members into brand ambassadors. You want these brand ambassadors to promote the club and really feel that it is their club. You want them bringing their friends and their family and even their colleagues to the club. The common denominator here with inbound marketing and an inbound marketing strategy is providing great, relevant content through this entire process. We're going to dig deeper into each of these stages during this webinar. As the buyers' behaviors have changed, marketing methods have certainly had to adapt. Buyers are tuning out traditional marketing efforts, such as interruptive ads, cold emails, or cold calling. It just doesn't work anymore. Your direct mail, things that you may be doing, or more of a traditional approach where you really don't even know what you're getting out of it. Really, in order to attract members or customers, what we've learned is more information about the audience and creating relevant and relatable content for that buyer is the way to go. So instead of buying ads or buying email lists or direct mailing, at MembersFirst, we take a multi-channel approach to our marketing efforts. Multi-channel marketing seeks to establish a club's presence across many channels. It's not enough just to be on social media or have a website or have a blog. You need to make sure that each of these are working in harmony to attract and convert membership and event prospects. By definition, inbound marketing is a marketing strategy of creating quality content that pulls people towards your brand. My marketing director always says it is marketing with a magnet, not a bullhorn, which is one of our favorite sayings here. The idea is that by knowing upfront who your ideal buyers are and where they spend their time online, you can effectively market to them with relevant content based on their interests. As you know, the buying and selling process for really almost anything has changed. That includes the buying and selling of club memberships. The sales process is now all about the buyer and their online experience. Prospective members are doing the majority of their purchasing research online, including research on joining a club. They want to learn about the specifics of how they might apply for membership, how much it might cost to join, what the membership includes for them, and really what kind of value is that bringing to their life. They want to be able to compare kind of their top club selections from the comforts of their own home. Everyone's doing their research online. They want to also communicate with you as membership directors or general managers by email, text, and social media before they might even visit you at the club, which is a shift from what we've seen in the past. What we also see is that prospective members want a highly personalized buying experience. They want the content that they search for, the communications they receive, and any reviews that they might read to relate to their thoughts and feelings, to their needs, and also relate to what is important to them in a club and what they hope to get out of buying a membership from your club. It's really no different than in our personal lives, how we make buying decisions, whether any of you are out there buying a new car this fall, or maybe purchasing furniture or even a house, or even just catching up on the latest fall fashion trends. Everything that you're doing up front is online before you most likely even step into a store.
Great, thanks, Dawn. Such a great explanation of how our marketing methods have evolved over time. So once we understand the methodology of how to do your marketing, then we need to look at what do we do next. The first step in our process is usually creating buyer personas, because we want to make sure that you are attracting the right people to your club. So before you can drive traffic to your website or drive traffic to your club, you need to know the market. And what we mean by knowing the market is really sometimes looking yourself in the mirror. One, you need to determine who you are as a club. What do you offer, and what is your value add to that prospective buyer? So once you know who you are, then you can determine who you're targeting. We all know that the population has changed. Change is coming. So that means we need to think differently, like Dawn said, and kind of change our approach as to how we approach the me generation. So when you're going out and looking for people, you want to look at some of your population projections. This is a quick graph of the population by age bracket, looking at both baby boomers and millennials. And as you can see, millennials are starting to creep up into your primary target market. And if we look at those projections from the population from 2015 all the way to 2050, you can see that in 2015, the shift starts to change. Millennials are actually now on the rise, and you've got both baby boomers and Gen Xers on the decline. By 2028 and 2036, you should be targeting that market. However, you can't forget about some of your current members today. We need to understand who you're going after. Are you going after the retired couples, the young families with young children, health-conscious, focused individuals, the modern executives? Once you understand who you're going after, we always encourage our clients to put it on paper. Here are examples of a couple different buyer personas that we've created with our clients that actually get posted in their offices. One of the things that they like to do is that their target markets or their target membership tours, they know the type of tour they're giving to these people when they go to the club. So why not put that on paper so that when you're creating content online, you're actually creating content for a specific persona. So here's an example of one that we've created for Richard and Rita. We've categorized them as Richard and Rita, the retirees. So some of the things that we look to find out to help us understand who we're targeting is background information. Are they married? How many children do they have? Where do they live? What's their education background? What are they interested in? Are they interested in being active in the community? Are they looking for opportunities to find new friendships in a new community? Where do they get their information from? Of course, everybody gets their information from Google, but is Richard and Rita the type of people who are reading the Wall Street Journal and Wine Spectator, or are they the people who are reading travel blogs and local newspapers? We need to understand what their goals are, because we need to help them reach those goals and overcome the challenges. Challenges that Richard and Rita may have is that their busy schedule is filled with volunteer and social event commitments. So we need to make sure that the content that we're providing to them online, we fill a need for them. But at the same club, you may have a couple different buyer personas. At the club, you may have Scott and Sarah, the seasonal residents. For those clubs that are maybe down south and somebody's got a second home up north, one of the things that you want to make sure is that you're going to be creating content that is going to be specific to not only Richard and Rita, but then you also can't forget about Scott and Sarah. So Scott and Sarah may have a different background. Maybe they're not retired. They're still small business owners. They're early risers. They work early in the morning, exercise, social lunches, and then they go out for dinner at night. What are they interested in? Are they interested in an active lifestyle? Where do they get their information? How does that differ from Richard and Rita, the retirees? And then we need to make sure to cater the content that we deliver to their personas. So once we know how we're going to market to people, who we're marketing, now we need to jump into some of the approaches, the examples, and the results that we found with these types of marketing services. Now we know that we're looking for Richard and Rita, the retirees, and Scott and Sarah, the seasonal residents. Well, then we need to start driving those people to our website. So where does this start? Everything starts at Google. So what we want to do is we want to be able to do good keyword research so that we can start adding some good on-page SEO, which is often referred to your organic search engine optimization. So, one of the tactics that you could take is doing ongoing optimization for your website. You can't do it once and forget about it. The way people search today is going to be different than the way they searched yesterday and tomorrow. So you want to make sure that you're implementing some best practices, good meta descriptions, alt tags on your images, clean URLs, and a variety of other components. The one thing that we try to do with our clients is to help increase the amount of inbound links that your club has driving people to your website. If we can get other people talking about your club in a positive light, well, then they're going to be driving traffic to your website, which is a bonus for everybody. The results from those tactics can, one, improve your website rankings on search engines. There's no guarantee on Google. You may have a board or committee member that will ask you to make sure that you're number one in the search engine. Well, that's a little bit hard to do because there's so many other elements that are working either for you or against you. So what we want to do is be able to drive people organically to your website, which will help prospective members find your club. Now, the other part of search engine optimization is not necessarily your organic search, but it's actually driving people to your website through paid search, commonly referred to as AdWords. AdWords can be done on a variety of different platforms. The three that we use the most here at MembersFirst with our clients is doing it through Google AdWords, Facebook ads, or LinkedIn ads. The tactics for these types of paid campaigns, it's really great because you're paying for these, you actually get to geo-target these ads. We've worked with clubs in Florida who actually have a strong prospective membership clientele in Canada. So what do? They geo-target their ads for people who are searching for clubs down south from their Canadian homes during the summertime. So we can also demographically target these ads. Think about what both you and I put on social media. Facebook knows where I went to college, where I went to high school, who I'm friends with, how old I am. So they know so much about me personally that I'm okay with giving them that information. The benefit for you and us as marketers is that we're able to target our ads specifically to those people. I guarantee that you've got a friend that just recently got engaged, promoted it on Facebook, and now everybody on Facebook knows that they're engaged to their fiance. Well, that's a great way to start targeting your wedding ads to those people. And those brides are okay with you targeting them because they're looking for a place to get married. You can also research your competition. And any of these paid search ads, you never want to have them go directly to your homepage, your website's homepage. You want to make sure that you're sending them to a lead generation page, which for all intents and purposes is a trap. They search for specific content and you want to drive them to a page that's specific to that content. And we'll have Victoria talk to you a little bit later in the presentation about designing a good landing page. The other thing that you can do is actually creating remarketing carousel ads. Most of you have probably experienced that before, where there may be a paid search ad that follows you around the internet. The screenshot to the left is an example in my personal world where I was searching over Masters weekend about why they named Amen Corner at Augusta National, why they named it Amen Corner. So one, as I was continuing to do my research online, I also had two paid ads at the bottom of this page where this was following me around the internet. So I must have clicked on one of these sites, done my research over time, and as I'm visiting other websites, that's following me around the internet so that I may be at one point of my buyer's journey, but if Willoughby and Collier's Reserve are on my mind throughout my internet search, it will help push me through to that next level. Another good example, which Dawn, my friend here, makes fun of me because I was actually in West Palm Beach recently, and I was searching for gas prices. I have no idea why. I caught myself down the internet trap, and I was searching for that. However, one of the things that I noticed that was following me around the internet was a paid search ad from another club, which is listed over here on the right, that's talking about their weddings. But the other interesting part was that I've been doing research on my next vacation in Bermuda, and what I was doing is looking at a variety of different resorts, and lo and behold, Newstead Belmont Hills Golf Resort and Spa in Bermuda actually popped up in one of these carousel ads. So at the same time I'm searching for local gas prices in Florida, I'm now thinking about my vacation in Bermuda.
Which is way more fun. Okay, so let's talk about content. One of the things that we keep saying is content is so important, and it's important that it's relevant to, as Sean described, what those buyer personas are. You want to be providing content that is relevant to those buyer personas. Another one of our favorite sayings here is content is king. So let's take a look at some examples here. So first and foremost, you want to have a clearly defined social media or content strategy, as well as an editorial calendar. Your strategy should identify your goals, whether those are for new membership or increasing member participation at the club, or increasing event business, for example. They need to be clearly identified as the foundation for your strategy. Your editorial calendar should lay out the specific content that you are going to post and where you're going to post it. It should also identify who at the club is responsible for it. Now again, remember, as Sean talked about with those buyer personas, you know who you're targeting, you know their interests, and you know where they spend their time online. As far as who's responsible for it, you need to make sure you're tapping into the resources at your club. That makes your success so much stronger there. So if you are looking to do some tips, whether it's golf tips or tennis tips, or even something swimming related, you know, what age do you get your child into swim lessons? Make sure you're tapping into those experts at your club. Personal trainers is another good one. If you're a historical country club, for example, don't be afraid to get that member who is kind of your club historian or has just been a member for 80 years. That member will love you for that, and they probably have all these black and white photos and can put a whole timeline together for you of history, which is exciting. And again, based on what you've learned about your buyer persona is really what's going to guide the type of content that you post and where you post it. So, as we move through some examples, first thing I want to tell you is do not make it all about you all the time. You don't always want to be posting about, you know, the latest event that's coming up and the wine dinner on Saturday. Although that's great information for people to know about what you do, you don't want to just have those events kind of in their face. So some examples to look at here, Medina Country Club posted, hey, when you're not at the club, where are you going to be eating this year? Well, here are Chicago's 11 most anticipated restaurant openings. That is a great thing to post. It promotes the local business, and it shows them as kind of a piece of that Chicago community, which I'm sure their members and prospective members appreciate. The next couple examples that you see is Medina taking advantage of Throwback Thursday and showing some historical photos, but also throwing it out there to engage their followers with a question. Have you ever worked as a caddy, or do you work today as a caddy? So the people that see that and respond to that, especially if they have been a caddy, that's fun for them to kind of share their experiences. And also those followers are going to continue to look for content from Medina because that's fun for them. Another example is they actually share some content about Ryder Cup moments, and they are a part of that, of course, being Medina Country Club, but something that they're doing there is just sharing content, which is very valuable in social media. This next example is a fun one. It's a good transition because this also is a club that got their members engaged. So the Claremont Club outside of Los Angeles had a campaign with their membership or followers to promote a healthy lifestyle, and they called it Stick Up for Exercise. And they asked their members, or challenged their members, to take a piece of Scotch tape and tape it from their nose to their forehead and take photos of themselves doing active things. So in this case, you have a woman and her children at the playground. And the idea behind it was to get the membership engaged, get them active, and also post then on social media with the hashtag Stick Up for Exercise. And the member who had the most posts with that hashtag, they won something. And I believe they gave away a free membership at the, or a free month's membership at the club, which is valuable at the Claremont Club. So a very fun contest for their followers. Another example here we put up through Instagram. And so many of your social media sites have what they refer to as stories. And so basically what it means is it allows you to kind of group photos together to tell a story. So in this instance, we have a large event, and this club took advantage of Instagram stories to post photos and videos leading up to the event to generate excitement, get more of their members to participate. So you see 8 days until, and then it was 7 days and 6, and now 5 days until. This is something great that you all can do at your club. If you're hosting a big event, you can take videos of your staff getting set up, of planning, maybe if it's an event that involves food, your chef preparing. And these are fun things that you can post in a story to get your members more excited about an event and boost that participation. Also, sharing content is not only acceptable but expected on social media. So any other organizations in your community that you're affiliated with, such as real estate groups like you see here, this is your local United Way, maybe a school system, whatever that business is. If you're promoting for weddings, you might want to follow other, bridal shops, for example. The key is that you should be following these relevant businesses, and you should encourage them to follow you as well and share that content. It's a great way to work together, and it's great for your buyer personas to see this different content. And it also means you don't have to produce content on your own every day. And then you truly know you're successful when your younger community helps you build your social community. So this is a great example of a yacht club here in the Northeast where their younger members, their junior members, hosted a bake sale, took a lot of great fun pictures and posted it tagging the club and really helping to increase their followers and also drive people down to their bake sale at the club. It makes it really fun. So another method that we want to address as far as providing relevant content is blogging. We know many clubs who currently blog, and we have a lot of clubs that aren't blogging yet, but they're thinking about it. They're not quite sure how to get started. They're not quite sure how to get content. And in some cases, they're not sure why they should be doing it. So we wanted to address this today as well. And blogging is great for many reasons, and a few of them that we put up here is, first, it shows you at the club as the expert in the eyes of your followers and members by providing educational content to them. So if you have tennis at your club and your tennis pro is blogging with different tennis tips and maybe taking short videos, they don't have to be long and they shouldn't be long, but short videos with tennis tips, that's going to elevate your pro in the eyes of the followers, and your followers are members but also prospective members. It's also something that could increase lesson business for your tennis pro or your golf pro, whoever is actually providing those tips. Another is your search engine optimization. So Sean touched on SEO and search engine marketing, but Google and other search engines love blogging, and they love blogging because it is constantly changing content, and it is relevant content to your particular business and the message that you're trying to portray, and that is what search engines truly thrive on. Also, lead generation. Blogging is a means of providing relevant content to those buyer personas. And if you continue providing content to these followers that they're interested in, they will start to engage in your content, and essentially they become leads for you. So let's look at a couple of some blogging examples that we have here. So one here is a club that started Tech Tuesdays. Tech Tuesdays is something that they put together in a 3-month series, and it was designed to educate members on ways that they want to communicate with their members. So the first session that they did was all about their member website. So it was, how do you log in, and once you do, how do you access the calendar, how do you register for events? If you have online tea times, it's how do you book a tea time or a tennis court online. They also set it up with, it's weekly, it's on Tuesdays, they set it up with a schedule so members can see the schedule, they can see what content is being provided on each Tuesday so they can plan accordingly and attend the sessions that are relevant to them that they're interested in. And then also with blogging, you'll see over on the right-hand side, your blog posts are archived so that members can find or search for previous posts that you may have. Also, we work with Marco Island Yacht Club down in Florida, and we were doing actually keyword research for them. And when we were doing keyword research, we identified that a lot of people search the term, where is Marco Island? So we thought that was interesting, and so what we did is we created a whole blog post on where in the world is Marco Island. And so we included not only the geographic information about where Marco Island is, but also what Marco Island has to offer. It's a boating community, it's a residential community, there's some nice dining options there, and so we created a whole blog post just around that keyword search of where is Marco Island. So that's another avenue of where you can find ideas for your blog posting. We also, speaking of experts, we have some great health and fitness clients that do a fantastic job showing themselves as experts, and they truly are experts. AVAC out in Northern California does a great job with fitness tips and wellness tips. I think one of the latest ones I just saw was actually grocery shopping tips, which is awesome. All of us here at MembersFirst follow a lot of our clients' blogs. Our friends over at Greenwood Athletic Club in Colorado has taught us the optimal chair positioning at our desk. So I think we all sit a little taller nowadays and hopefully have straighter spines thanks to them. So it's just, again, puts them to us, they're the experts, you know, and that's what their blog posts have really shown. And then lastly, what we wanted to do is just give you some examples. These happen to be some of our clients that we follow their blogs. We get some great information from them. We see some great ideas. If you're on the phone and you're blogging, please email Sean and I. We love to see your blogs. If we're not familiar with them, we'd love to see what you're blogging about. We will also be sharing this presentation with all of you, so you'll have access to this as well. So you can certainly take a look at these blogs and get some great ideas for your content calendar.
Great, thanks, Dawn. This is Victoria, everyone. Everything that we just described between Dawn and Sean is how people get to your website, and then the magic happens. So what I'm going to kind of go through is just what a conversion path is and what we do at MembersFirst to be able to convert all of these visitors into leads from all of your online efforts from multiple channels. So a conversion path is basically a landing page, a dedicated landing page that has a form on it, and it has a call to action for them to do something. It brings them to a landing page that has a great piece of content on it to give them in return for filling out their name. And then they go through automation. So auto emails can be sent after they have filled out that form, and they can continue into your CRM and be managed that way. You can go ahead, Sean, to the next slide. So what I'm going to do is just walk you through a couple examples to make that tangible in your mind. And the first thing I would say is we're just going to take a look at a membership campaign. What we want to do is generate new membership interest for Plymouth Country Club in this example. And different tactics that we'll use are keyword research, targeting specific buyer personas so that we know we're speaking to that target persona properly, creating a landing page, content creation that's really rich information that you can share in your social publishing, your blogging, your paid search, and all of those different avenues. So on this next slide here is a landing page example of fall membership at Plymouth Country Club. Depending on where your prospective member in this situation is in their buyer's journey, they may be at a place now, since it's a download for an application, of a decision-making process for them. Like they are ready to make a decision and they think that they're ready to submit an application potentially. So these are people who are probably going to be a little bit more serious to say, hey, I want to download your application, which that will flag for you, and you can target them in a different way. So the things that we want to point out that are extremely important for these landing pages is that the copywriting is very concise and scannable, that you can read it quickly and then it really jumps out to you. It's relevant and specific, and it has a purpose. And the purpose here is to download an application. It's very clear. Then we want the design to not distract us. We want it to have no extra website links so that they see what's happening here, which is downloading an application. There's a very clear call to action, which is download now. And the submission form is important to point out that we don't want to have them fill out 10 different lines on this form. We just want it to be short and prominent so that they know what they're getting. In return for the information they give about themselves, you're going to send them automated an application. And right before, I just thinking of something else on that. We're going to jump into content offers here and what's there, but I would just say, there's research that shows that, sites that are publishing downloadable resources experience such better results than sites that are just publishing content. These generate really quality leads, and that's what we're looking to do to help out private clubs. So what is this gated content? In the example before in that landing page, it was an application. So we'll look at 3 other examples here for you to be able to connect the dots of where people are at. So on the left, you see a fall membership fact sheet. In the middle is an infographic, and then why you should join fall as a fall member, and then 5 things to consider before joining a private club. And that's just overall awareness, like why you should join a private club. But Plymouth Country Club is providing you this type of information. You're just really gaining your audience trust, and you're giving them a lot of information that they're really seeking in their buying process, which makes them in return become very delighted when they do become a member, because you've been honest with them, you've provided them a lot of great content, and you've just really built this trust level with them. So I can't stress it enough. It's super important to make your content worth their time, and they will provide their information in that form. So this brings us back to everything Dawn and Sean has covered by doing this through organic search on page, social media, blogging, and we also use emails and calls to actions to draw them there. So once someone fills out that form, where are they going? It's put into this marketing database that tracks all of their interactions on your site and transfers this information into your CRM, which I'll talk about more in depth in a few minutes here. And it's just so important to see that, hey, here's all of the people who are coming in who are interested in membership, and now how do I approach them? What's great about this is that you can segment their list, and it could be based on how many interactions they had on the website. Let's say they clicked and filled out a form and then they went to 7 different pages afterwards. You can put that in segments to really drill down who's interested in your membership and the type of stuff that they may be interested in, so that when you're interacting in phone calls or emails, you'll be able to speak to the things that they may already have interest in. So here we just want to point out results. We like numbers, and we know you do too. So we also know that you want to better understand how to close the loop and utilize numbers in your club marketing efforts. So as a result, we'll work together to create specific, measurable, achievable, and time-bound goals. And goals are just so important to be able to get these types of results. So using these monthly goals that we do with our clients, which we are able to benchmark what helps to evaluate, if something didn't work so well and if we should retarget in the future. And it helps us improve every month to see great results, such as Plymouth Country Club sees with the retainer services with Members First. So in this slide, you can kind of take a look in further detail later when Sean sends over the slides, but it's great to see that the campaign content, when we talk about multiple channels, is from paid search. They did multiple social media posts that we would share this great content, and as you can see, there were multiple pieces of content that were being shared. We had sent 3 different emails, 3 different blog posts that all brought us to calls to action at the bottom for them to generate more leads. And then we had 2 different conversion paths with content offers. So we'll take a look at the results and see that how many times were people even viewing the page, and based on the page views, how many leads were generated from that. And in return, that's where we get to help. Then you can focus on the sales process and really making it a great experience for that person who might be interested in fall membership and potentially become a long-term member at your club. So how do we do all of this? For us, we are a HubSpot agency partner, and HubSpot is the #1 marketing automation software available today. We're really proud of this because we just think that it really makes the whole process of being very in touch and personalized with your prospective members and event host the best that it can possibly be in the private club market. So it's great because we can develop the buyer personas in there and attach them to each campaign and pay attention quarter over quarter, which works best and how to improve and continue to always see increase. We also target the keywords so that they're tied to these campaigns, and we can see if we need to adjust over time and where the search volume actually is going, so that you're getting found online for the right things. And then we can track, the marketing campaigns, so we can see all of those numbers and how well people responded to what we're working on. And of course, the automation, anything we can do to automate the process makes it better for you on your side at the club, and you could, like I said before, you get to spend just a lot more time focusing on the prospective members and prospective hosts and making them really happy. And that's how you see long-term success in your membership for sure. So the next thing I'm going to run into is just the CRM, and that's another great thing about HubSpot is that it partners with the CRM in unison. So the marketing side speaks to the CRM side, and it helps track and segment your list for prospective buyers that are going to be coming through your club, and ultimately it increases your membership with people who can become advocates for your growth. And it's really great because it's all used through great content and an experience that you're providing for them. Can you go back one slide? Sorry. Thank you. So here is just a CRM implementation. This is another thing that we do. So once your leads come in, where are they going to go? How are you going to manage these leads? And how are you going to track everything to get the most benefit out of it? So we can help you do that by doing a CRM implementation. And through that time, we really look at your sales process and help you figure out what is the best way for you to walk through it with perspectives and not miss any step. So it's really enjoyable for me because I've worked for 4 different private clubs and I've been in the industry for over 10 years now. And I know that, you know, over the years in my experience, to have someone who's already been in that role before, who can understand, you know, hey, this is our process, and I'm looking to just make it a really great experience, but there's sometimes a lot of steps. That's okay. We can really customize it and make sure that nothing gets missed. So that's part of what we do. We just really focus on segmenting your list and your sales cycle for you, and pulling everything together so that you can be successful and not just having a great resource, but actually using it once you have implemented it. So here are some screenshots, which you'll get a little closer look once you see these in person too, when Sean sent you those slides. But I just want to point out that like when we, a recent CRM training that we did, within 5 days of the training being completed, we had an organic search lead come in, which I can see, you know, on the back end, you can see where the sources that they came from, and they booked a $7,000 rehearsal dinner. The club was able to track the lead's online interaction with the club's brand from downloading a wedding package and visiting 4 additional pages on the club's website, then submitting another lead generation form to receive membership guide information. And then the club said that, you know, with the continued follow-up in their CRM, they were able to move them through their deal cycles, and they're interested in joining as members as well. So last but not least, I want to share a high-level view of partnering with us in your marketing efforts and how our team becomes a part of your team. So up to this point, we've really shown you specific examples of what we do and how we do it. But here's what it means for you and your board of directors. So first off, we're very flexible with our support for private clubs. We understand that you have many hats to wear. So what we do is we really make sure that we're paying attention to your goals and evaluating your challenges. Yeah, you may have some challenges set back, like let's say you don't have any great content yet to produce. We'll help you come up with those ideas and create that content for you. And we'll be able to just be that complete extension to your team and have expertise right on tap without having to hire someone else to design a bunch of beautiful things for you to use for your content online. So you get access to, you know, club operations veterans like myself, other, you know, copywriters on our team, marketing professionals, a little bit of everything on our team that you won't necessarily have in-house, and that's just a great benefit to have. The next thing is just providing value there. So we want to create efficiencies and save the club staff valuable time. So again, if we're working on all this marketing stuff and we're really guiding and helping you and consulting with monthly and quarterly planning, we're able to take a little bit of that burden off you from what's next and how we're going to do this, and making sure that you don't run out of time and we plan appropriately. You're able to really work on your sales side of making sure that these prospective members are excited to be a part of your club and their experience is going to be top notch. So again, you know, we just, with that being said, you know, we want to make sure that we avoid those delays and don't, you know, have big cost overruns for the club, because we're able to be very dedicated to multi-channels and being very efficient by targeting, you know, specific things in each campaign. And I just think that, you know, the branded integrity, you know, you build this beautiful website. Now, what are your additional resources that you have to match your website? And we'll make sure to keep all of those intact. That can be carried through to all of your material in-house too, as you guys are looking to see what your brand identity really is. And so, oops, mine just closed out, sorry guys. So I would just say, we're an extension to your team. We have a little bit of everyone on our team, and one exciting thing about Members First Marketing Services that our team really becomes a part of your team. So here in this picture, we just see that, we have some of these faces here are actually membership directors who are on this line right now, and some of our faces here, here's me, Dawn, and Sean, where are you? You're here somewhere. I thought you were.
Right
there. You are. And our trusty friend down here. So I just really enjoy that interaction for myself. I know from being in the marketing service team, being able to connect and feel like we're one team when we work together.
That's great. Thanks, Victoria. One of the things that we sent out to all the attendees that chose to attend this is we wanted to let you know of a fourth quarter promotion that we're doing here at Members First for our Members First marketing services. We know that most of you are either going into season or you are actually starting the planning process as you go out of season. So a lot of we have a variety of different marketing services packages. But the fourth quarter promotion, as my good friend Dawn here just told me, has already been extended through February of 2018, just to make sure that we can help you out, whether you're going in season or out of season. But for anybody who purchases our marketing services base package for a minimum of 12 months, you will receive a free CRM implementation, which is a $1,250 value, in addition to a free one-time SEO package for up to 20 public pages on the public-facing component of your website, which is another $1,200 value. So one of the things that you'll want to do is make sure to contact Dawn or myself to learn a little bit more about those marketing packages and see if one of those is a good fit for you, your club, and your board.
And what we also are doing today with our two webinars, we are giving away, we're doing a little raffle, and we're giving away a one-time SEO package. So up to 20 pages on obviously the public side of your website. The service includes the keyword research, optimizing and updating the page titles as well as the meta descriptions on your pages. We'll create an XML sitemap and submit it to search engines. We also will, based on the keyword research, recommend any content or copy suggestions for the website as well. That is a $1,200 value. So without further ado, as Victoria was talking, Sean and I put everybody's name in a hat, and I am picking out of the hat. And our 1 o'clock webinar winner is Daniela Tosta at Deering Bay Yacht and Country Club down in Florida. So congratulations, Daniela. I will be in touch with you regarding that SEO service. And then last but certainly not least is we want to just address any of your questions. So we will pull up, bear with us 1 minute as we pull up the question box to see what we have for questions.
And just as a reminder, in your GoToMeeting webinar control panel on the right-hand side, you will notice down a little bit towards the bottom, there will be a questions component. So you can certainly add any questions that you have in there, and we will answer them in the order they were received.
Okay, so it looks like we do have a couple questions.
So yeah, this one actually comes up on almost every presentation. Are you sending the slides? And the answer is always yes. So what we will be doing, both Dawn, Victoria, and myself, we will be gathering up, of course, all the slides. We will be sending those to all of the attendees. But what we will also do is send you the recorded webinar. That way, if you have any colleagues, any board members, if your marketing or membership committee was unable to attend today, this way you could share it with them as well. So we will be sending that to you most likely early next week.
Cool. Okay, next question. We are looking to hire a full-time team member to handle our social media. Is that the person that would work directly with the Members First team if that's what we chose? Yeah, so actually with the Members First Marketing Services, we would work with all of your departments at the club to really assist with your marketing communications and lead generation efforts. we do the bulk of the communications, but one thing that we aren't involved in is actually closing the leads. So once we do kind of our piece, we're generating the leads through all these different channels that we talked about today. Your focus will be responding to those leads, working through the CRM, and closing them as, you know, members, or perhaps it's for wedding business. So our advice would be, if you are looking to hire a team member, to see that they have kind of a stronger sales focus, more so than maybe a customer service focus. So I guess that would be kind of my advice there.
And Victoria, maybe you might be able to add in a little bit more on that part of it, as far as who you've directly worked with at a club and what you found works best. You know, are they hiring more marketing individuals or sales individuals, like Dawn had said? But do you find yourself working more with a staff member, with a board member, a combination of both?
Yeah, I would say a lot of the times we do combination of like board and sales kind of position more. We do have people who are in marketing positions, but then they're working more so on in your internal member communications, which would be like your internal marketing, I guess, but I like to consider that member communications, and then your actual marketing to make sure that your club is getting found online. We work a lot with just someone who can deal with these leads. So, you know, if your club is struggling with not having someone in a position like that, if they're more heavily focused on the sales side, we can really help with the marketing side to bring those leads in so that you can convert them into members and event host moving forward.
Perfect. Great. Thanks, Victoria. Looks like actually we could see somebody typing in here now, but it's not finished yet. Let's see. Okay. So this one is coming. All right. So this is just basically a quick question. How are your marketing packages structured? So here at MembersFirst, like Victoria said on one of the services slides, we try to be extremely flexible with the structuring of our packages. There are sometimes some small upfront setup components. You know, basically we need to get the ball rolling, but then most of them will come with retainer services. So the monthly fees, to be honest with you, kind of range. It goes back to your goals and challenges, because every club's goals are a little bit different. They may need our help in one area, and sometimes more than one area. So some of our retainer packages range anywhere from, you could start off with some software for $200 to $300 a month, but then a full marketing services package could go anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500 a month. So again, what we try to do is be extremely flexible with your budget, but at the same time, we want to make sure that we understand the goals and the challenge that you currently have with your current marketing strategy, because then we can come up with a recommended solution for you that fits your needs.
Great. It looks like we have one other question that came in. It looks like this might be our last one, and it's, I love this. My board thinks we should be on LinkedIn. Have you experienced success on that platform? So one thing we will say is, obviously not every social platform is for every club. Some work great for other clubs and not for everyone, though. So that being said, in regards to LinkedIn, we have seen clubs with a great deal of success on LinkedIn. And really the first thing you would want to do, if you don't already have it, is a professional LinkedIn company page or club page. And then you also want to set it up so that your employees can connect their profiles to it. The other thing, as far as testing out content, hopefully you've done a buyer persona at this point, and you know of your personas, who of your personas are on LinkedIn, and the type of interest they have and the type of content that would be of most interest to them. So it could be, white papers or ebooks and whatever it might be. I would suggest testing out that kind of content for them.
That's great. Awesome. Great. Those are some
really
great questions. Trying to think.
That's our last.
Yep. It doesn't look like there's any more. So certainly, again, thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with us on a Friday afternoon. Again, this is Sean from the client development team, And I'm also here with Dawn.
Hello.
And Victoria, our Marketing Services Associate. So thank you very much, everyone. We appreciate your time and look forward to working with you in the future.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
Bye, guys.